Inside a silent space station far away from Earth, a huge metal door slowly opened. A group of alien soldiers walked inside. They were tall. They were strong. Their eyes were sharp. Their armor was dark and heavy. These soldiers were from the Zarkan Empire. They were known across the galaxy as fearless warriors. No planet had ever defeated them. They had destroyed armies. They had crushed worlds. They had never felt fear. But today, something felt different. They were not entering a battlefield. They were entering a human training center. Commander Ralvek walked in front. He was the leader of this elite team. His face was calm, but his mind was alert. He looked around the room. The walls were smooth and silver. Lights were soft and white. The air was quiet. It looked peaceful. Too peaceful. Ralvek thought, is this really where humans train? Behind him, Captain Zoran whispered, this place looks weak. Another soldier laughed softly. How can humans fight wars in a place like this? They believed humans were soft, emotional, too kind, not real warriors. At the center of the room stood a human officer. His name was Colonel Marcus Reed. He was tall. His hair was gray. His face showed years of battle. But his eyes were calm. Very calm. He smiled politely. Welcome, he said. This is our simulation hall. Ralvek crossed his arms. Simulation? He asked. For what? For war, Reed replied. Some aliens exchanged looks. War? In this quiet place? They did not believe it. Reed walked to a control panel. It was simple. No bright colors. No loud alarms. Just a screen and a few buttons. Please, he said, step inside the circle. On the floor was a wide metal ring. The alien stepped inside. The door behind them closed. Slowly, with a deep sound. Boom. The room became dark. Suddenly, the lights went off. Complete darkness. No sound. No movement. Only silence. Zoran whispered, Commander, what is happening? Before Ralvek could answer, the floor shook. Boom. A loud explosion filled the air. The ground moved under their feet. Red lights flashed. Alarms screamed. Fire appeared on the walls. The peaceful room was gone. Now it looked like a war zone. A ruined city appeared around them. Tall buildings were broken. Smoke covered the sky. Dead machines lay everywhere. The smell of burning metal filled the air. Gunfire started. Rat-a-tat-ta, explosions followed. Boom! Boom! The aliens froze. This is not possible, Zoran said. It was a room 1 second ago. Now, they were inside a battlefield. Enemy soldiers appeared, dark figures with glowing red eyes. They came from every direction. They screamed. They attacked. Energy weapons fired. Bright beams flew through the air. Ralvek shouted, Defense positions. The team reacted fast. They raised their shields. They took cover. They returned fire. Boom! Boom! Enemies fell. But more came. Again. And again. And again. The simulation became harder. The sky turned black. Storms appeared. Rain mixed with fire. Wind pushed them back. Buildings collapsed. One fell very close. Crash! Dust filled the air. Zoran coughed. I cannot see. Another explosion hit nearby. One soldier fell. He screamed, My leg! Ralvek rushed to him. He checked. No blood. No broken bone. But the pain felt real. Very real. Commander, the soldier cried. It feels real. Ralvek's eyes widened. Pain. Fear. Heat. Cold. Everything was real. Too real. This is madness, he whispered. Suddenly, giant machines appeared. They were taller than buildings. Their eyes glowed blue. They walked slowly. Each step shook the ground. Boom! Boom! They raised their weapons. A beam of light came out. One building disappeared. Just gone. Zoran shouted. We cannot fight this. Some soldiers stepped back. Fear entered their hearts. For the first time in their lives, they felt weak. Ralvek opened his communicator. Colonel Reed, he shouted. Stop this now. No answer. Only noise. Static. Zzz. Colonel, do you hear me? Nothing. The simulation continued. Like a monster with no control, fire surrounded them. Enemies attacked from above and below. The sky cracked with thunder. The ground split. One soldier dropped his weapon. "I can't do this," he cried. "This is death." Ralvek grabbed him. "Stand up," he ordered. "We are Zarkan warriors." But even his voice was shaking. Far away, behind thick glass, Colonel Reed was watching, with other human officers. Screens showed everything. Every scream, every fall, every explosion. One officer said softly, "Sir, they are breaking." Reed did not look away. "I know," he replied. "This is only level 1. The room became silent. Level 1? Inside the simulation, things became worse. The city disappeared. Now they were in a jungle, dark, wet, dangerous. Strange sounds filled the air. Something moved in the trees. Eyes glowed in the dark. Growls echoed. Zoran whispered, "We are being hunted." A creature jumped. It was huge, with sharp teeth. It attacked. Ralvek fired. Direct hit, but it kept coming. He fired again. Again. Finally it fell. Dead. Breathing heavy, he said, "What kind of training is this?" One by one, soldiers became tired. Their armor felt heavy. Their minds were weak. Fear was growing. Hope was falling. They had never trained like this. Never. Then something strange happened. The sound slowly stopped. The fire disappeared. The enemies vanished. The jungle faded. Everything became white. The floor returned. The walls returned. The lights turned on. They were back in the hall. Sweating. Breathing hard. Shaking. Alive. The door opened. Colonel Reed walked in. Calm. As always. He looked at them. "You have completed the first test," he said. Ralvek stared at him. His voice was low. "That was not training," he said. "That was hell." Reed nodded slowly. "Yes," he replied. "For us it is the same thing." The aliens were silent. They understood one thing now. Humans were not weak. They trained in nightmares. And this was only the beginning. The simulation hall was silent. No alarms. No fire. No enemies. Only heavy breathing. Commander Ralvek and his team stood in the center of the room. Their armor was covered in dust. Their hands were shaking. Their hearts were still racing. They had fought many wars, but never like this. Never inside their own minds. Captain Zoran slowly removed his helmet. His face was pale. I thought we would die," he said. No one laughed. No one replied, because everyone felt the same. Colonel Marcus Reed walked closer. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. Tap, tap, tap. He stopped in front of Ralvek. "You did well," Reed said calmly. Ralvek looked at him. Anger filled his eyes. "Did well," he replied. "My soldiers were screaming. They were breaking. That was not training. That was torture." Reed did not get angry. He did not shout. He only nodded. "Yes," he said. "And war is worse." The aliens looked at him, confused, shocked, silent. Zoran asked slowly, Do humans face this every day?" Reed looked at the big screen behind him. It showed old battle videos. Human soldiers in real wars. Real blood. Real pain. Real death. "Yes," Reed replied. "We face it. Again and again." Ralvek watched the screen. He saw humans running through fire, carrying wounded friends, fighting even when bleeding, screaming but not stopping. His heart felt heavy. "Why?" he asked. "Why do you do this to yourselves?" Reed turned toward him. "Because," he said, "the enemy will not be kind." Reed raised his hand. The screens changed. Now they showed young humans, teenagers, training, falling, getting up, falling again, running in rain, crawling in mud, lifting heavy weights, screaming in pain, still continuing. "These are our children," Reed said, "our future soldiers. We teach them early. Pain is not the end. Fear is not the end. Giving up is the real end." Zoran whispered, "This is madness." "No," Reed replied softly. "This is survival." A young human officer stepped forward. Her name was Lieutenant Saracole. She looked at the aliens. "You saw level 1, she said. "There are 30 levels." The aliens froze. 30, Ralvek repeated. "Yes," she replied. "Level 1 is only to break fear. Level 10 breaks the body. Level 20 breaks the mind. And level 30, she stopped. Everyone waited. Breaks the soul? Silence filled the room. One alien soldier sat down. He could not stand anymore. Who could survive that?" he asked. Reed answered without hesitation. "Those who choose to." Suddenly, alarms rang. Not loud, not scary, just short beeps. Beep, beep, beep. A technician shouted, "Sir, Training Unit 7 is in trouble." Reed turned fast. "What happened?" "Simulation overload," the technician replied. "Team Alpha is still inside." Ralvek looked at the screen. He saw human soldiers trapped. Fire everywhere. Debris falling. One soldier was pinned under metal. Another was bleeding. They were still fighting. Still trying. Still moving forward. Zoran's voice shook. "They're dying." Reed clenched his fists. "Not yet," he said. "Shut it down," someone shouted. "We can't," the technician replied. "The system is locked." "It will take 5 minutes." 5 minutes. In that hell? Impossible. On the screen, a human soldier shouted, "Leave me! Go!" But his team refused. They lifted the metal together, screaming, crying, bleeding, still lifting. Finally, they saved him. Then an explosion hit. The screen went white. Everyone held their breath. Slowly the image returned. The team was alive. Wounded, exhausted, but alive. Cheers filled the control room. Some humans cried. Some hugged. Some fell on their knees. Ralvek felt something strange in his chest. Respect. Deep respect. "These humans," he whispered. "They never stop." Reed turned to him. "This is why we train," he said, "so that when everything fails, our people do not." Later, the aliens were taken to a resting area. It was simple. Beds, water, food, nothing fancy. Ralvek sat alone, looking at his hands. They were still shaking. Zoran sat beside him. "Commander," he said quietly, "I am scared." Ralvek looked at him. "So am I," he replied. "But I'm also curious." "About what?" Zoran asked. "About how they become this strong." Ralvek said. That night, Ralvek could not sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw fire. He heard screams. He felt fear. He stood up and walked outside. In the corridor, he saw light. From the gym, he looked inside. Human soldiers were training. At midnight, running, punching, lifting, sweating, bleeding. No one forced them. No one shouted. They chose to be there. One soldier fell. He tried to stand. Failed. Tried again. Failed. Tried again. Stood up and continued. Ralvek watched silently. "Why?" he whispered. A voice answered. "Because tomorrow may be worse." It was Reed, standing behind him. "Most of us are afraid," Reed said, "but we do not let fear decide." The next morning, Ralvek made a decision. He gathered his team. "We will return," he said, "to the simulation." Zoran's eyes widened. "Commander, we almost died." Ralvek nodded. "Yes, and humans face it daily. If we want to survive future wars, we must learn." They returned to the hall. Reed looked surprised. "You are sure?" he asked. "Yes," Ralvek replied. "Start level 2. Reed smiled, for the first time, not politely, proudly, "As you wish." The lights dimmed. The floor shook. Darkness returned. And this time, the alien stepped forward, not back. Darkness covered everything. No sound, no light, no warning. Commander Ralvek stood still. He felt the cold floor under his boots. He took a deep breath. "This time we do not run," he told himself. Around him, his team waited. Silent, nervous, ready. Slowly, light returned. They were standing on a wide desert. The sky was red. Storm clouds moved fast. Strong wind blew sand into their faces. Far away, black towers touched the sky. Zoran looked around. Where are we? Before anyone answered, boom! The ground exploded. A wall of fire rose. Metal pieces flew in the air. An alarm sounded inside their helmets. Warning, hostile zone. Enemy drones appeared. Hundreds of them, flying like angry insects. Their eyes glowed yellow. They fired energy shots. Pew! 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 Ralvek shouted. Spread out! Move! They ran. Shots at the ground. Sand exploded. One drone crashed near Zoran. He fired back. Direct hit. It fell. He smiled. For 1 second. Then 10 more came. Suddenly, human voices came through their communicators. Alien team, this is Captain Miller. We're inside the same simulation. Form up with us. Ralvek was surprised. You are here too, he asked. Yes, Miller replied. Level 2 is joint training. Follow the smoke signal. In the distance, white smoke rose. Ralvek pointed. Move. They ran toward it, dodging fire, jumping over broken ground. One alien slipped. A human soldier grabbed him. Got you, the human shouted. The alien stared. He had never been helped by another species before. Thank you, he said softly. They reached a broken building. Inside, 10 human soldiers waited. Wounded, tired, focused. Captain Miller stood in front. He was young, but his eyes were old, full of experience. Welcome to hell, friends, he said. Some humans smiled. Some checked weapons. No fear, only duty. Enemy wave coming, Miller said. 3 minutes. Ralvek nodded. How many? Too many, Miller replied. They prepared. Aliens set shields. Humans placed mines. They shared ammo, shared water, shared silent trust. Zoran whispered to Ralvek, I never thought we would fight together. Ralvek replied, Neither did I. The sky turned dark. Thunder roared. Then they came. Hundreds of machines. Walking tanks. Flying drones. Ground robots. All moving together. Like one mind. Like one army. Here they come. Miller shouted. Fire opened. Boom. Pew. Crash. Explosions everywhere. Smoke covered the field. Aliens fired energy beams. Humans fired bullets and rockets. Enemies fell, but more replaced them. Again and again. A tank broke through. It fired a massive beam. The building shook. A wall collapsed. Zoran was trapped. Help, he shouted. Ralvek ran, but fire blocked the path. Without thinking, Miller ran too. They reached Zoran. Together, they lifted metal. Burning, screaming, but lifting. They pulled him free. Miller's arm was bleeding. He smiled. Still alive, he said. Suddenly, a loud voice echoed. Level 2 boss activated. The ground opened. Something rose. A giant machine. 3 heads. 6 arms. Red eyes. It roared. The sound broke windows. This is impossible, Zoran whispered. The boss attacked. One arm smashed the ground. 10 soldiers flew away. Another arm fired lasers. 2 humans fell, not moving. Ralvek felt anger, fear, pain, all together. We must stop it, he shouted. How? Someone cried. Miller looked at the control tower. If we destroy its core, he said, behind its chest. But it is protected. Then we distract it, Ralvek replied. Aliens with me? Ralvek shouted. They charged. Shields up, firing nonstop. The boss turned, focused on them. Now! Ralvek screamed. Miller and 2 humans ran, jumped, climbed on debris, dodged fire. They reached the machine. The boss noticed. It fired. An explosion hit. 1 human fell. Gone. Miller kept running, blood on his face, pain in his eyes. But he did not stop. He reached the chest. He placed explosives. Cover me, he shouted. Aliens and humans fired together, non-stop. Their weapons overheated. Their arms shook. Still firing. Still fighting. Miller pressed a button. Done, he yelled. Get back. He jumped. The boss raised its arm. Too slow. Boom! A huge explosion. Light filled everything. Silence followed. When the dust cleared, the boss was gone. Only broken metal remained. Cheers started. Weak. Tired. But real. They had won. Suddenly, alarms rang again. Warning! Simulation error. The ground cracked. Fire rose. Gravity changed. People fell. System failure. Miller shouted, "This is not planned." Screens appeared in the sky. Reed's face showed. "Everyone listen. The system is unstable. Exit points are opening. Reach them now." Blue doors appeared. Far away, across broken land. "Move!" Ralvek ordered. They ran, carrying wounded, supporting weak. Enemies still attacked. Time was short. Zoran stumbled. His leg was injured. "I can't," he said. Ralvek lifted him. Miller helped. Together, they ran. Explosions behind them. Heat on their backs. One door remained. Closing. Slowly. "Go!" Miller shouted. He pushed Zoran inside. Then Ralvek. The door started closing. Miller was still outside. "Miller!" Ralvek shouted. "Jump!" Miller ran. Jumped. The door closed. He hit it. Hard. And fell. Silence. The simulation ended. The hall returned. Humans and aliens stood, shaking, breathing, alive. Except, Miller was not there. A screen lit up. Simulation complete. Casualty, Captain Miller. Zoran fell to his knees. "No," he whispered. Ralvek felt empty. "He saved us." Reed entered slowly. His face was sad. "He knew the risk," Reed said. "He chose it." Later, in a quiet room, a photo of Miller stood, with a candle. Humans and aliens stood together, in silence, in respect. Ralvek spoke softly. He was brave. Reed nodded. "Yes. And now you understand." Ralvek looked at his team, then at the humans. "We will continue," he said. "Not for pride, not for power, but for those who fall." Reed placed a hand on his shoulder. "Welcome to real training," he said. Far away, a screen turned on. Level 3 unlocked. And everyone knew the hardest test was still coming. The training hall was quiet. Too quiet. No alarms. No screens. No voices. Only one message floated in the air. Level 3. Loading. Commander Ralvek stood in front of his team. They were tired. Their armor was damaged. Their eyes were heavy. Their hearts were wounded. Captain Miller's death was still fresh. No one had forgotten. Zoran looked at the floor. "Commander, do we really need to continue?" Ralvek was silent for a moment. Then he answered, "Yes. If we stop now, his sacrifice means nothing." The team nodded, slowly, with pain, with respect. Colonel Reed watched from the control room. His face was serious. Lieutenant Cole stood beside him. "Sir," she said quietly, "Level 3 is different." Reed nodded. "I know. It was never meant for visitors. But they asked to continue. So we will honor that." The lights dimmed. The floor vibrated. The world faded. And Level 3 began. Ralvek felt cold. Very cold. When he opened his eyes, he was standing on ice. A frozen planet. Snowstorms moved like walls. The wind screamed. The sky was dark blue. No sun. No warmth. Only endless cold. Zoran hugged himself. "I can't feel my fingers." Their suits tried to heat them, but it was not enough. Warnings appeared inside their helmets. Temperature critical. Energy drain high. Suddenly, buildings appeared. Broken stations. Old human bases. Half buried in ice. "This place," Ralvek whispered, "looks abandoned." A human voice answered, "Because it is." It was Sergeant Noah Briggs, a tall soldier, strong, quiet. "I trained here years ago," he said. "Many did not return." They walked forward, slowly, carefully. Every step was heavy. Every breath hurt. Then, they heard voices. Whispers. Soft. Close. Turn back. You will fail. You are weak. Zoran stopped. Did you hear that? Ralvek nodded. Yes. It was coming from everywhere. And nowhere. Shadows moved in the snow. Tall, thin, dark, with glowing eyes. Creatures appeared. Not machines. Not soldiers. Something else. Something wrong. Contact! Briggs shouted. They fired. Shots passed through. No damage. The creatures laughed. A cold, empty sound. One touched an alien soldier. He screamed, fell, frozen, like stone, dead. Fear returned, bigger than before. These are not normal enemies. Zoran cried. No, Briggs replied. They attacked the mind. The whispers grew louder. You will die. Your friends will leave you. You are alone. Ralvek felt memories rise. Miller's face. Fallen soldiers. Lost battles. Pain. Doubt. His legs felt weak. Suddenly he saw something. His home planet. Burning. His family calling. Reaching for him. Come back, they said. Tears filled his eyes. He took one step. Then stopped. This is fake, he whispered. Not real. He closed his eyes. Focused. Breathed. And the vision faded. Stay focused, he shouted. Do not listen. Do not look. Trust each other. They moved closer. In a tight group. Back to back. Covering every side. The shadows attacked. Again. And again. They lost 2 more soldiers. Frozen. Broken. Gone. At a broken station. They stopped. Inside was warm. Strange. Too warm. Screens turned on. Showing faces. Loved ones. Friends. Voices saying, rest. Sleep. You are safe. Some soldiers walked forward. Slowly. Like sleepwalkers. Briggs grabbed one. And oh, he shouted. It's a trap. The screen exploded. Fire filled the room. 2 soldiers died. Zoran collapsed. I can't, he said. My head hurts. Ralvek knelt, looked into his eyes. Listen to me, he said. You are strong. You survived hell. You survived loss. This is nothing. Zoran nodded weakly. I trust you. In the control room, Lieutenant Cole looked worried. Sir, their stress levels are extreme. Reed replied, that is level 3. It shows who breaks and who grows. They reached a mountain. On top stood a tower. Black. Silent. This is the core. Briggs said, if we destroy it, the shadows stop. But no one has reached it before. Ralvek looked up. Then we will be first. They climbed. Snowstorms. Ice falls. Enemies. Exhaustion. One human slipped. Fell. Gone. No scream. No sound. Just gone. At the top, the tower opened. Inside was darkness. And a voice. Deep. Cold. Welcome, warriors. I am your fear. I am your doubt. I am your weakness. A shape appeared. Like smoke. Like shadow. Like death. It attacked. Showing each soldier their worst memory. Failures. Loss. Guilt. Regret. Some fell. Crying. Screaming. Breaking. Ralvek stood. Shaking. But standing. You are not real, he said. You are only a test. The shadow laughed. Then why do you feel pain? Ralvek closed his eyes. Because I care, he replied. And that makes me strong. Briggs placed charges. Hands shaking. Almost frozen. Almost blind. Cover me, he shouted. Zoran and Ralvek fired. Non-stop. Light against darkness. Hope against fear. The shadow attacked Briggs. Ralvek jumped. Took the hit. Fell. Pain exploded in his body. But he stood again. Finish it, he screamed. Briggs pressed a button. Boom! Light filled the tower. The shadows screamed. Then vanished. Silence. They fell to the floor. Breathing. Bleeding. Alive. Only 4 remained. Out of 12. The world faded. They returned to the hall. Doctors ran. Medics helped. Reed stood quietly. Saluted. All of them. Later, Reed spoke. Level 3 is not about fighting enemies. It is about fighting yourself. Ralvek nodded. We understand now. A screen lit up. Level 4. Final War. Preparation phase. Unlocked. Everyone looked up. No one smiled. They knew the end was near, and it would cost everything. The training center was silent. No one spoke. No one moved. All eyes were on the giant screen. One message glowed in red. Level 4. Final War. Initializing. Commander Ralvek stood with his team. Only 4 remained. For survivors. For warriors. They were tired. Their bodies were weak. But their hearts were strong. Colonel Reed walked forward. His voice was calm, but his eyes were heavy. Level 4 is not like the others, he said. This is not a test. This is a real war simulation. It is built from data of our worst battles. Every mistake here means death in real life. Zoran swallowed. Then why do it? Reed looked at him. Because one day it will be real, and we want you ready. Lieutenant Cole stepped beside Reed. Once you enter, she said, there is no exit, no pause, no reset, only victory or failure. Ralvek looked at his team, then at the human soldiers. We go together, he said. No one left behind. Miller's words echoed in his mind. He nodded, started. The lights faded. The floor vanished. Darkness swallowed them. When light returned, they were in space. Inside broken ships. Metal floated everywhere. Fire burned without air. Outside, stars were dying. Planets exploded. A galaxy at war. Alarm screamed. Enemy fleet detected. Size unknown. Zoran looked through a window and froze. Thousands of ships. Black. Huge. Moving like a storm. This is impossible, he whispered. A human voice came through. All units. This is Admiral Hayes. This is the final battle. There will be no rescue. No retreat. Fight or humanity falls. Ralvek felt something change inside. This was not training. This felt real. Too real. They moved to battle stations. Humans control weapons. Aliens manage shields. Working together. No orders needed. They understood each other now. The first wave hit. Missiles. Lasers. Energy storms. The ship shook. Explosions everywhere. One section broke. Soldiers were pulled into space. Gone. In seconds. Hold the line. Ralvek shouted. They fired. Non-stop. Enemy ships fell. But more came. Always more. On another screen, they saw ground battles. Human cities burning. Alien worlds falling. Children running. People screaming. Is this real? Zoran asked. Briggs answered quietly, based on real data. Worst case future. A giant enemy ship appeared, bigger than mountains. Its weapon charged. A blue sun formed at its center. Doom cannon charging. Cole warned, if it fires, we lose. Reed's voice came. We have one chance. We overload our core. It will destroy the cannon. But whoever stays behind. Silence followed. Everyone understood. No return. Ralvek stepped forward. I will do it. No, Zoran said. I will. No, Briggs replied. We decide together. A young human soldier spoke. His name was Ethan, only 19. I'll go, he said. My family already died in war. Let me protect someone else's. Reed's voice broke. You shouldn't have to. But I will, Ethan replied. Ralvek placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. You are not alone, he said. I will stay too. Briggs joined. So will I? Zoran nodded. All of us. The plan changed. They would guide the ship straight into the enemy cannon and overload everything. A suicide run. Prepare for impact. Hayes ordered. The ship turned. Full power. Engine screamed. They rushed forward. Enemies fired. Hull broke. Fire spread. Alarm screamed. Still, they did not stop. Ethan worked at the core. Sweat on his face. Hands shaking. 30 seconds, he shouted. Zoran held the door. Metal bending. I can't hold, he cried. Ralvek joined. Together, they held. Briggs was hit. Fell. Bleeding. Go! He whispered. Finish it. Ralvek pulled him up. No one left behind. 10 seconds. Ethan shouted. The enemy cannon glowed. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Light filled everything. Silence followed. Then they woke up on the floor in the training hall. Alive. Confused. Doctors around. Lights bright. No fire. No war. A message appeared. Level 4 completed. Result. Success. Everyone stared. Breathing. Shaking. Crying. They had survived. Colonel Reed walked forward. His eyes wet. You just faced humanity's worst nightmare, he said. And you did not run. You stood. You fought. You sacrificed. He saluted. All humans followed. To aliens. To warriors. To friends. Ralvek stepped forward. Before this, he said, we thought humans were weak. Now we know. You are strong because you choose to be. Zoran smiled. And because you train in hell. Some laughed. Some cried. Weeks later, the Human-Zarkan Alliance was formed. Joint armies. Shared training. United future. On a wall, a message was written. We train in darkness, so others may live in light. Ralvek looked at her from space. Beside him stood Reed. Do you regret coming here? Reed asked. Ralvek shook his head. No, he replied. It changed us. It saved us. Far away, new soldiers entered the hall. Nervous, afraid, hopeful, a new story was beginning. And the legend of human training became known across the galaxy as the place where fear was defeated. Forever. Fire end of story.